Greetings, Vault Hunters across all 6 galaxies. Welcome to the Season 2 premiere of the Bordercast. I'm Mitsu, here as always with my incredible co-host, Tasachka, coming to you every single week to break down all things Borderlands. We got a great show lined up for everybody watching and listening today, and I cannot wait to delve deep into the new patch. Mayhem 2.0 has finally hit our computers and our Xboxes and our PlayStations and hopefully one day our Switches, but we will find out what's going on. Oh, and our Stadias maybe? I don't know. I think that it's probably synced up now. I certainly hope so. We don't want to leave anybody out when all the mayhem is going down. So, with that being said, I cannot wait to talk about that, as well as Revenge of the Cartels, the new events going on. We get to talk a little bit more with hot fixes applied to get all that patch breakdown. And Gearbox even left a little bit of a treat for all of us work from home folks, a background, and maybe even a free gun and a code to go along with that. But we'll get to all that as we get along. First, Tess, as always, how was your week on Pandora and beyond?
It was really, really, really awesome. I've been eagerly anticipating Mayhem 2.0. For those of you guys that have already checked out our video that we're going to show you later on in the broadcast here, on YouTube. Thank you very much for checking it out. We were very fortunate to get to play a little bit, and I enjoyed it so much, and I just have been kind of aching to get back to it, but I want to do that with you guys, so I'm looking forward to playing more with everybody tomorrow and this weekend.
Yeah, it's so I had a chance before we actually went live to get through visiting with Maurice, which, by the way, everybody got new dialogue as well to converse with Maurice. And Zane, unsurprisingly, as funny as he always is, apparently, I think he did cannibalism once. He talks about how he chopped up somebody with his teeth. I have questions. Why is the drunk Irishman resorting to cannibalism? I don't understand. So there was that, although I might have misunderstood that. Have you had a chance yet to play Revenge of the Cartels? We're going to talk a lot about it a little bit more in the near future, but I just was wondering if you've had a chance.
I haven't had a chance at all, and I'm sad about it, but I plan to basically as soon as we're done filming tonight. I'm very excited to check it out. I'm very excited to get my hands on it. I know you've played it at least a little bit, so tell me what you can.
oh boy, it's a trip. It's an actual neon-filled, iridium dust-filled trip, and by the end of it, you two will be on that. Somebody really, really loved Scarface at Gearbox. that was really what it amounted to, and oh boy. But yeah, I just this post that they put on to explain everything about Mayhem 2.0. I just want to jump right into this because, oh my goodness. Okay, so starting today, as everybody knows, Mayhem 2.0 finally released. We've been talking about it for a while now. Tess and I had a chance to sit down and play with it, and we're going to run that in a little bit. But just a primer for what exactly it is. As you know, Mayhem mode unlocks when you finish the story of Borderlands 3, giving you the option to crank up the game's difficulty, which increases the amount of experience points, the quality of loot, all of that stuff. But there were some issues that people had with Mayhem mode. It was a little too difficult on the onset. It wasn't really well defined. And it just kind of like fell flat. So Gearbox said, we have heard you, and we're going to go back and we're going to change things. So things still scale. There's still damage scaling. There's still armor and health scaling for enemies. However, now they've introduced a new aspect to everything where they threw in modifiers. And some of those modifiers are incredible. Big Head mode, or Galaxy Brain as they call it, is my personal favorite. Tess, what was yours while we were playing?
Definitely Galaxy Brain is my favorite. That is way too hilarious.
They all add new challenges. And when I was playing Revenge of the Cartels, I got to experience a few more of them, particularly one that makes enemies immune to corrosive damage, which sucked. Because I have a lob. What am I going to do? Like, they're immune to corrosive, so now I can't actually use my corrosive lob anymore. I got to go get another one.
Yeah.
So
my issue, I think there were a couple of really challenging ones I think one of the ones I had the most trouble with that we didn't spend a lot of time, that we did spend a fair amount of time playing in, was the beam that connects you to the enemies. Because
Yes.
a lot of my like favorite guns, except for the Cutsman, require me to be pretty close to the enemies.
Mhm.
And if you're close to the enemies, there's a beam of damaging laser madness that's like connecting you to your enemy. So basically, all of my lobs, all of my favorite kind of close range weapons were just thrown out the door as being useful. There are some pretty intense modifiers in Mayhem right now in all of the Mayhem modes, and I love the variety. I love that you can re-roll them so easily. Also, that is probably my favorite quality of life thing about it. It's great.
Yeah, it's great that you can re-roll them. That was certainly a very enjoyable part of it. It seems like the feedback right now is very positive about that particular aspect of it. People liked not having to log out, come back in, see what your modifiers were, log out, come back in.
Yeah.
And none of the modifiers, God bless America, feature bullet reflect. Completely gone from the game forever and ever, hopefully. Because bullet reflect is the single worst thing that you can ever deal with when it comes to actually playing a Borderlands game. It's the damage is too fast and too furious, and you wind up knocking yourself down. That's not fun at all. So they went back, realized that fact, and hopefully we'll never deal with that again. Thank God. So there will be over 25 new modifiers, and it seems like they have a lot more in mind just by the way that they wrote this. And each one is rated easy, medium, hard, and very hard. Easy ones tend to be helpful, like Big Kick Energy, which actually increases your weapon damage but increases recoil and spread. And of course, Galaxy Brain, which we talked about. But then it gets a lot more difficult. You have Floor is Lava, which you guys will get to see in a little bit or hear about if you're listening on Spotify or any of the other podcast services that we will be streaming this out to eventually. Then you have Drone Ranger, where there are healing drones. I think we saw that
We did
at some point. And it is exactly as advertised. It's a drone that heals. And if you want to stop it, you can just shoot it down, which is awesome.
I didn't really realize there was so much going on when you and I were playing that I didn't really realize that's what it actually was.
Yeah.
I think a lot of the time we didn't have it very often when we were running through it. But later on my own, I went back to look for it because it was something that was mentioned, and so I was kind of like curious. And I went back to fight actually Celestro and Atomic, which is one of my favorite fights. They have some of my favorite items, so I need to keep farming them over and over again. And I went back and with Drone Ranger turned on, and it was insane. I had to take it out if I wanted to take them out, was basically what it came down to. I had no choice.
Yeah.
I had to focus the drone before I could focus the other bad guys. So.
But that's how it should be. And this is a much better method. Everybody keeps saying, all right, it's like op levels. It's like op levels. No, it is like op levels in terms of the scaling of the health and the shields and the armor. Sure. Okay, fine. But you're not dealing with insane health regeneration. So you don't feel like every time you have to break combat and hide behind something, you're going to lose all of your progress. And if you do, it's only because, for example, something like Drone Ranger is in there, which is something you can control. You can shoot down the drone and you don't have to worry about the health regen anymore. That's it. That is a much better method of going about doing this because the onus is on you to be smart enough and skilled enough to shoot down a little armored drone that you can very clearly see.
Yeah, you never feel powerless, except there's one modifier that you have no fight for your life in. Which I will grant you, with that one, you don't really have the chance or the time to feel powerless because you're just dead. And then you start up again. So it's not that bad. Every single other modifier, at least that I've experienced so far, has really felt like if you prepare properly, and on lower Mayhem modes, you can even just kind of muscle your way through things. On higher Mayhem levels, it's definitely a significant challenge, a very significant challenge, and you're going to have to be really well prepared or roll for modifiers for which you are specifically well prepared. But there's always a way. It seems like almost absolutely everything has some kind of solution to it that you can sort of gear for, or you can roll for, or you can change everything up for. I mean, sometimes you don't necessarily want to change your entire build, but then you roll for modifiers that accommodate your build, right? But if you want to change things up because you've been playing the same way this whole time for, however many months you've been playing, you kind of want to change. Maybe you're ready to make friends with some new guns, as Mitsu would put it. This is the time, with different mayhem modes kind of spurring you to try different things. And it's really exciting to have to do that. I think the way that it works, you're in control, as Mitsu said also.
Yes.
You're completely in control of your experience. So if you like the modifiers, you want to change things up with your guns and your gear, you can. If you don't want to change things up with your guns and your gear, you can really easily just hit one key and re-roll for some new modifiers that fit you better. Right?
Yeah, and that's ultimately what needs to happen. You are in control of everything going on, and coming down the line in the future, maybe you will be in control of even more things, or maybe they will throw in more modifiers for you to want to re-roll too. I would say, if going forward, because people are already requesting this, I've seen this actually posted in several different outlets already, that they want to actually just straight up choose the modifiers. I don't know if I can get on board with that outright, because there has to be some sort of RNG element to it. I would say, if you were going to be able to choose any, cap it at easy and say you get to choose what the positive modifier for you is. That way, if you want big head mode, you can choose to have big head mode, but that's it. You don't get to re-roll. You don't get to choose the hard ones and just sit with whatever hard ones, because some of the more difficult ones are just never going to be played. And I mean, they're probably not going to see much play anyway, but at least with re-rolling, it's like, all right, I got 3 that I liked and 1 that's kind of really hard for me. So I'm just going to eat crow and make the best of that. And then you wind up finding out that you're actually good at this game and you nail it. So you never know.
I feel like if they gave us the option to choose modifiers, it could be cool. However, in order to entice people to play those really difficult modifiers, there'd have to be some kind of significant benefit assigned to those specific modifiers. Like they have this in Destiny, where if you, or something like it, where if you, let's, for example, say you chose that modifier that gives you no fight for your lifetime. If you go down, you're just dead, right? Which is mind-blowing in Borderlands. Even saying it feels weird.
Right?
But yeah, but nobody's ever going to choose that willingly, pretty much, ever. However, maybe the benefit to that is your luck is boosted an extra 15% or something, like Buttermilk does for you if you play the awesome science game in Tannis's lab. Maybe you get a really significant boost to luck. Maybe you get, I don't know, a really just significant damage boost, or some kind of positive to make you want to deal with that challenge. Maybe there's special loot that you can only get, like a skin or a trinket or maybe a gun from that specific modifier. Now, do I kind of feel like that might be asking too much of the devs to assign specific items to specific modifiers? Maybe. That is kind of a lot, but I definitely don't think that they should just let people choose modifiers with no RNG and no reason to choose the hard things, because people won't, right?
Yeah. So just to round out the blog post, the quality of weapons that you will get, it improves as you go up through your Mayhem levels. A Cutsman that is dropped at Mayhem 2 will roll higher than one that drops at Mayhem 1 in terms of its raw damage potential, and a couple other things too. So given that enemies' health, shield, and armor stats increase with each Mayhem level, the damage boost that you get will help you prepare for the next level. So it is an increase. Now, some people can be amazing, Lazy Data, and with gear that you currently have, you could, in theory, if you wanted to, jump to Mayhem 10 and just tackle the hardest content. If you wanted to. There's no ceiling here, and once you get into the game, you can just go straight to Mayhem 10. But if you're somebody who might not be either the best of the game, or maybe you don't feel as comfortable and want to work your way up progression-wise, you also have that option now too, where you can stack all of it up bit by bit and build that character from 0 to 10. That is your choice. You can play it however you want to.
And if you're struggling, like there were definitely some moments where I struggled very much in various mayhem modes, and I still do. I definitely think you can drop down a mode or drop down another mode, build up your inventory, like Mitsu said, or Nono was saying in chat. Definitely just work your way up, work up your gear and your build for every level, you know. And if you feel like you're struggling, maybe reroll some modifiers, maybe give yourself some boosts with some modifiers. Don't be scared to try new things. Also, don't be scared to try new guns. Some of these modifiers make some of the guns that we've grown very accustomed to kind of not so optimal anymore. And that's okay. It will give you a reason to go farm something new and exciting, which is an awesome incentive in my opinion. So
Yes. And if you're looking for any more incentives, by the way, there is 8 more incentives for you to get into the higher Mayhem levels. For at Mayhem 6 and above, the Sandhawk has returned, reimagined as a legendary automatic sniper rifle as opposed to an SMG as it was in previous games. And it still shoots. It's now 9 pellets that flap their wings and go out into the world and kill everything in its path. But I am glad that they brought this gun back. How it's going to act as a sniper rifle as opposed to an SMG is anybody's guess. But a lot of the reason that it worked is it had boring capabilities, not necessarily actual bore, but penetration capabilities, we'll say, much like the Lob does now too. But a lot of why Maya excelled with it was because Maya was great with submachine guns. She was great with elemental damage. And now I guess that kind of applies to Amara with elemental damage, but she does, like, how many submachine gun percentage modifiers does she really have? Then again, she doesn't need it because it's sniper rifle, but there really aren't any sniper rifle modifiers, are there? Not on Amara anyway.
Yeah, you know, she definitely. I have some things that boost SMG damage. I'm trying to remember if they're artifacts or if they're my item. It might be both. I don't remember honestly. I've
Yeah.
sort of moved a little bit away from SMGs because my main SMG life in every game ever in my entire life. But in Borderlands 3, I really like SMGs, of course, but I also really like shotguns.
Yes.
The Lob, wonderful gun ever, except with that modifier that, yeah. But anyway, basically, I feel like them changing the nature of the gun to be so vastly different is a good thing. It makes it much more interesting. Once maybe we have the gun, people, I don't know if anybody's gotten it already. I'm definitely going to go look for it. And I'm curious to see how it performs.
I agree. And the other thing, chat is currently yelling at me right now. Twitch chat is reminding me, was the Sandhawk much good without the B? And the answer to that question is yes and no. From a scaling perspective, way before we got up to like Op 8, level 72, that kind of thing, the B was still good, or I'm sorry, well, the B was good too, but the Sandhawk by itself was fine because it had so many different damage buffs that came and like culminated in what made this gun great, especially on Maya. And it had Bore, which is what made it great on Zero. And then everybody else could kind of get like good use out of it. But yes, at level 72, Op 8 in Borderlands 3, you needed a B. But we're not in that kind of situation anymore. We don't have a B, and because we don't have a B, now we don't have to worry about this outrageous scaling that Gearbox feels like they need to put in the game in order to provide challenges for players at the high end of the scale. That's why the game feels so good, because there's no B. So now it becomes, what do we feel about the Sandhawk going forward? And that's a question for next week, maybe the week after that, when we finally get our hands on them and see how it plays.
I was never a fan of the B at all. Like I understood why it was so effective for people, but I didn't enjoy using it. So I'm really happy that there's no B.
Yeah.
So
I can't wait. I hope that everybody gets their hands on Mayhem 2.0 very soon. If you haven't already, I very strongly recommend it. But for those of you who haven't had a chance yet and are watching or listening, I do believe we have a little bit of footage for you guys. Tess and I had a chance to play very recently. And, well,
here goes.
Roll it, Johnny.
Hey Vault Hunters! Recently Mitsu and I had a chance to take Borderlands 3 for a spin using the new and improved Mayhem 2.0 modifiers. In this video, you'll get a more in-depth look at this awesome new feature and get to see our reactions to it. Let's take a look.
So I had the pleasure of playing around just a little bit with it last night, just to kind of like poke my head around and get to know like the different aspects of it.
The cool thing about this is it's now, you don't have to go to Sanctuary, like we're starting on Sanctuary, of course, but
Yes.
you don't actually have to go to Sanctuary to change your Mayhem mode, which is so nice. How many times have you wanted to change it? You had to leave where you were, backtrack, go back to Sanctuary, come all the way back just to change the Mayhem mode. So now you don't have to do it anymore. It is in your like inventory regular menu, so you can change it anywhere, anytime, which is so nice.
Try going up to Mayhem 6. Just as a demonstration, just to show everybody exactly what happens when you go up in a Mayhem level. So Gigamind is currently like probably hanging out, and that's a pretty easy kill we can use to demonstrate.
Sure.
Yeah. Let me just grab ammo real quick before we head on down. Although I guess I could do it down there too, so whatever. You can start if you want.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Ammo sounds like a good plan.
Especially because there is... Wait, hold on. Oh. Wait. Did they
What?
up the SDUs, or do I get rolled back? Oh, hold on. Wait, no, wait. That means they are upping the SDUs with this new patch.
Oh.
Look at that. Because backpack SDU you can buy. You can buy bank SDUs. Sniper rifle SDU goes up and heavy SDU. Wow. Those two are big too. Sniper and heavy SDUs going up. That's a good move.
This is awesome.
You want to head down to the brain in a jar?
Yes.
Let's
Yes,
do
I
it.
do. Let's see what the modifiers actually are. The Mayhem tab.
Go to the Mayhem tab, and if you look over on the right side of the screen, now you will see the stats of each enemy, XP gains, Iridium and money gains, obviously, and then the loot percentage increase chance all at the top of the screen. What you'll see below that are the modifiers. We're playing on Mayhem 6. Mayhem 6 has 1 easy, 2 medium, and 1 hard modifier. So for easy, you can see Speed Demon right there. Who needs cars when you've got kills? After killing an enemy, movement speed is increased by 50% for 10 seconds, and this effect stacks for up to 3 times. That's great for somebody like Zane, and I think Amara benefits from move speed as well, right?
Yes, absolutely.
That's a huge damage buff. Easy modifiers
Yeah.
tend to benefit the self, tend to benefit you, the player. When you get into medium and hard, that's where it starts getting a little bit more sticky. You have medium acid rain, which enemies may be infused with corrosive, and they're immune to corrosive damage, and they release a nova when they're killed. That is corrosive. And then Healy Avenger.
Fun times.
Yeah. Enemies have a chance upon death to release a power-up that heals the first enemy it touches, or drop health or shield boosters if they're destroyed. So when you're looking around in like mobbing, you might see this thing on the ground that you might want to destroy or pick up before the enemies do, so that way they don't receive the benefits of this. And that's a much better system than it was on the OP levels, where everybody in everybody in Ultimate Vault Hunter and everybody in all the op levels had passive health regen, and that sucked. That sucked a lot. That was one of the major reasons everything was just a wall in Ultimate Vault Hunter mode. And then you can see boundary issues at the bottom there. That's a hard modifier. That is, at close range, enemies will attach a damaging elemental beam to you. Like a secondhand goldfish, it's best not to get too attached.
That's fantastic.
Yes.
Oh, God.
And then you can see at the top 3,000% for health shields and armor modifiers. So this is Mayhem 6 Gigamind. There he is right there.
Oh, my God.
You can see it's still manageable, though.
Yeah, it's not that bad. Oh, my God.
Whoa. Hold on.
Okay.
I'm going to be able to get you in
My
a
fight
second.
for your life is really, really, really long. I'll probably kill him before I actually die.
Oh, okay. Then if you get below half, then I'll start sweating a little bit. But even then, I'm watching you. We're probably okay. Yeah. You're
I
perfectly
use
fine.
it because I do, I think it's 25% more damage. And then my accuracy and everything goes up too. So it's kind of, I use it all the time. I go down and then kill things quicker. Okay. Hey, legendaries.
So one of the things to point out over here, I don't remember what the initial values for Ruby's Wrath is, but I'm pretty sure that 7,222 times 7 is much higher. I want to say it was about 6,000, somewhere maybe like 6.6, 6.3, somewhere in that area was max damage in the previous versions. Now we're looking at 7.2, which is a noticeable increase, which is what's going to happen going forward. Every time you move up in Mayhem rank, you're going to get a better roll on your damage for the weapons. So that's what's going to incentivize you going from Mayhem 1 to 2, 3, 4, all the way up to 10.
At this point, we decided to try something a little more challenging than Gigamind. There's a modifier that I saw while I was rolling modifiers that diminishes the effectiveness of status chance effects by like 90%.
Yes. Yeah, it's bad. That one's really, 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 really bad.
Oh my god.
Also, you have a giant head.
I love the heads so much. They're amazing.
Okay.
All right. Mayhem mode, Molly 1 takedown. We're on level 6, which is the new level that drops new items and weapons. Previous items from Mayhem 4 have dropped down to Mayhem 3 to make them a little bit more accessible to people that may not have had a chance to get them in the past. Mayhem 4 difficulty seems to be similar to the old Mayhem 4 difficulty. Mayhem 6 is definitely a step beyond. Now, all of these have a few different modifiers of varying difficulty. An easy one that happens relatively often and is very hilarious is Galaxy Brain. Enemy head size is increased by plus 100%. You know what that means? Easier crits. Giant head Amara, literally the funniest thing I've seen. Giant head Mitsu Zane.
And not just giant head Zane. Giant head clone.
Yeah, giant head clone. Oh my god, it's so good. It's so good. It's actually incredible. But okay, totally radical. Enemies may be infused with radiation. Infused enemies are immune to radiation damage and release a radiation nova when killed. I'm using a radiation anarchy. Shoot. Floor is lava. Motion is lotion. While in combat, standing still will cause an incendiary damaging pool to form underneath you. Fun times. You really have to move a lot. It seems like to combat this, basically, just strafe aiming is not going to be enough. You have to jump or move consistently a lot. If you stand still for a second, you're gonna burn. Hard. Boundary issues. At close range, enemies will attach a damaging elemental beam to you, like a secondhand goldfish. It's better to not get too attached.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna have a very hard time. My build is not really accommodating of this madness.
There we go. Oh, there's one of the radiation ones. Oh, I see it now. Okay, I get it. Some of the ones that are immune are the ones with the, they have like circle swirlies around them that just literally say immune the whole time. So those are the ones that you can just avoid if you're going to be doing radiation damage. And then like light them up later or have somebody who's a little bit more specialized to take care of them instead.
Okay.
Although these war dogs can, they can get bent. Is probably the nicest way to go about saying that.
Oh my god.
Just now.
Those dogs are definitely the bane of my existence. Oh, immune. Great.
Hold on. That's right. I've got a lob for that. Oh wow, my anarchy is just useless during this, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really bad. So my anarchy is useless. My lobs require me to get really close to them. So
yeah, so you really have to you have to wager whether or not going in there is going to net you the kill fast enough for you to basically get out before you get irradiated. Because they're exploding with radiation too.
Yep.
There's that guy. Ow.
Yeah. I feel like I need different guns.
Yeah, I mean that's the fun of this. Like, it's forcing you to think outside of your comfort zones and be like, all right, there are some new guns out there that maybe I need to make friends with.
Yeah.
The Krakatoa still seems very strong. I'm actually going to pull that outside in a second to illustrate.
I mean, I think it super depends on the modifiers too. Like if we didn't have that that super hard modifier of the energy beams connecting you when you're close to them,
Yeah.
it would be fine, but that is definitely hurting me.
I agree 100%. Oh, thank God there's no modifier right now, because there is another modifier. I don't know if you read it. There's one where if you're in fight for life, you go down, you die.
Yes. Oh my God. That one is absolute murder. You literally have no fight for your life, which I'm currently using. Oh God. And I have the wrong shield on. I forgot that I have the wrong shield on.
You should be good. Kraken died. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank God they made that change in this game too, where you can just tag something when it's dying and you just get up instead of having to get res even afterwards too.
Oh my God.
Oh boy.
Oh, I'm gonna die.
Oh God, I might die too.
No. I don't want to re-roll these. Jeez.
Hold on. No, we're good. We're good. We're good. Oh, but you have to sit out now, don't you?
I do.
You don't come back until after the Valkyries, do you?
Yeah, so...
Dang.
Molly 1 takedown is going to be really rough. You have to come in super prepared. Super prepared for the modifiers that you're facing, because the payment for not being properly prepared is steep.
Yes.
Jeez. Luckily, re-rolling is quite easy. Very easy. All you have to do is hit one key and it re-rolls your modifiers for you until you find a set that you like, and then you hit apply. So you'll only have a loading screen once you hit apply, and it will reload you back to the last spawn point that you were next to, which is right where we're standing. So re-roll as many times as you want until you get modifiers you're happy with, and then you'll have one load screen, which is a really nice, elegant way for them to do this. I really like it. So we re-rolled, and then Mitsu took pity on me.
Is a good gun that you may be very familiar with.
Oh my God. Yes. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
That's awesome. Man, this is so much better.
Yeah, but you know what? That's a great point to illustrate how important it is to take these mayhem levels like one at a time or two at a time.
Yeah.
Because you were using weapons that might have been, if we say Mayhem 4, that were Mayhem 4, we're on Mayhem 6, and your weapons were struggling.
The struggle continued, but we had an absolute blast with it and can't wait to enjoy all that Mayhem 2.0 has to offer with you all. Be sure to tell us what you think during the next Bordercast episode. We film live every Thursday at 4 p.m. Eastern, and you can join the chat on the official Borderlands Twitch. Until then, we'll see you in the next video. So we hope you guys enjoyed the video. We worked pretty hard on it. It was really an amazing experience to get to do that. We hope we get to do more of them for you guys soon.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. But that aside, there is still a lot for us to tackle on. I really hope that you guys enjoyed that. But for now, we've got to delve into all of those changes that we just saw and experienced watching that. So without further ado, it's time for Hot Fixes Applied.
Our awesome segment when we talk about the patch notes, all of the super cool changes coming from Gearbox to you guys every Thursday, pretty much, on a regular basis.
Yes. So, as always, everybody knows that there is a little picture or a wooden board that lets you know when there are hot fixes in Borderlands 3. So if you don't have that right now, you should have it in the near future. That way you're actually able to play. Although I think by now it's been distributed to all platforms. I wanted to open up real quick because this isn't actually in it, but this is part of the hot fixes that have been applied, if you will. There are a few issues that Gearbox is currently addressing. Some people were seeing some issues with the EchoCast on Twitch. That should be resolved right now. There were a few people on Epic who had a lot of their gear being completely removed. That is being rolled back and should be fixed very soon, if it hasn't already by the time that some of you will hear this later on. And for those of you watching right now, it should be fixed in the near future. And there is a few other audio bugs and kinks that they are aware of, but overall, everything else seems to be going out very well. and I'm kind of happy with where everything is. And by kind of, I mean amazingly happy. So they're aware of everything. Support.2k.com. If you need to report an issue, believe me, they will appreciate you to high heaven for doing so. So make sure that if you are having an issue, talk to them and they will get you squared away as soon as they possibly can.
They're on top of it, very on top of it, which is awesome.
Yes, they are. So without further ado, time for some hot fixes. So first and most important thing is they added support, of course, for Revenge of the Cartels, the new season event, which we will talk more about next week. In the meantime, there was a lot of stability issues that were addressed, including crashes that would occasionally occur when dying and respawning in Slaughter Star 3000. Thank God, I had heard especially Damn It to Hell experience this more than once, so that was a big deal. Yes. A couple of runtime errors, a few other things. It's a lot of these are addressed concerns in this particular patch, so we'll kind of gloss over them. Suffice to say, if you had an issue, more likely than not, it has been addressed in this particular laundry list of changes. Network and multiplayer, of course, getting a whole bunch of changes as well. For example, a reported concern that a radiant chest didn't always appear for all players in Skywall 27. That would make me livid.
Yeah, geez.
Yeah.
Reported replication issue with Blue Fire Boss in Slaughterhouse 3000. There were a few issues with that one, so that,
yes,
that has been addressed. Yeah. Reported concern that Ratch would disappear for the client, when killing them with gore censored. I don't think
That's an odd one.
Yeah, I've never played with the game censored, but it has that feature if you want less gore, which is really cool, actually.
I wonder if that lowers the rating to teen if you censor the gore. I mean, maybe, right?
I doubt it just because I don't know for sure, but I doubt it because the psychos are very, very psychotic and spout all sorts of wonderful nonsense at all times. And most of it is not rated teen. So.
Well, I mean, I think of other games that, because cursing isn't necessarily the mark of an M-rated game. Not always. And the psychos don't really say a lot of bad things. I don't even think they say like shit or anything like that. It's mostly like find Lieberman or something like that, right? Like, or my chili recipe dies with me. It's something like that. It's not so much like you mother, and like I would reach over for the.
I regret the pizza that I didn't eat. Yeah,
it's something like that. Or my nosebleeds were delicious, and then he just falls over. Something oddly psychotic like that. It's not. Yeah, but maybe it's for like sexual content, because then I think back to DLC 1. You can go to the red light district and see a dancing robot. So maybe that's why. But never mind. Who knows? Right. Yes. Adjust the reported concern, for example, that the host player name would not appear properly when joining another player in LAN. That reminds me, I think it's in this list too. There was at one point the ability for me to see my own name when I was off host, which was weird because I'd be running around and you'd see Mitsu show in front of my face.
Yeah.
That's
kind of strange.
I think it had something to do probably with photo mode.
Oh yeah,
I remember. I don't know for sure though.
Some weird glitches that I ran into,
yes.
But most of them vanished after the first couple of weeks of the game, so I never really thought about it after that.
Yeah, I mean they knock out the park, the small stuff pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Gear. Oh, thank God.
Oh yes. So when we came across this, it took us a moment to understand, as you guys saw in the video, but they have added additional SDUs for bank size, backpack size, heavy ammo, and sniper rifle ammo. So really, really, really nice increases for really, really nice things that we have wanted and needed and are very happy to receive. They've been saying all along that there will be multiple increases to your bank size, your backpack size, and all of the SDUs for you to sink your monies, in-game monies into, and just in general to give us that boost in space that we so crave because we're all hoarders at heart, obviously. And so they have provided, and I don't think this is the last upgrade. I don't know for sure, but at least right now it's a very nice upgrade. It's much appreciated.
I think they've said that with every DLC there will come an upgrade, at least for bank space, and I don't remember if they said at least bank space. That I do remember. So this came as a nice surprise that they're upping sniper rifle and heavy weapon ammo. Although I don't see heavy weapons still being utilized anytime soon. I can't think of one offhand except for maybe the ion cannon if you've got like the greatest shot in the world really being utilized all that much. After that, sniper rifle, that's good because now we have the Sandhawk in the game, and that's now a sniper rifle, as well as the Krakatoa being on the ascent. I cannot emphasize enough, by the way, how good the Krakatoa is. It's unbelievable, people. Get one. So, yeah, it's now we've got 100 new spaces in the bank, 10 new spaces for the backpack. I believe sniper rifle ammo goes up to 204. So you've got a lot more to play around with. In terms of the rest of gear, there was an exploit where, and I didn't know this is wild, an exploit where players could continuously increase their stats that are triggered when shields are broken completely or by continuously jumping off the map and dying, such as with the legendary shield, the Band of Sitarak. That's from the Unstoppable, and I did not know that you could just stack that infinitely. So you could really just jack yourself up. That's crazy.
Yeah, I did not. It doesn't occur to me to break the game in these crazy ways, so I never find these glitches that people find and then use and or tell me about. And whenever I find one, like whenever I'm introduced to one by someone else, I'm like, how did you figure that out? It's very interesting. But it's fixed now, so not an issue anymore. Addressed a reported concern that the projectiles from the shooting star shield would not spawn properly. Okay. Addressed a reported concern that artifact drops were missing a stat attribute when viewing artifact with a certain combination of primary and secondary stats. Cool. Addressed a reported concern that the combustion effect persisted when traveling after breaking the Staros Burn legendary COV assault rifle. Interesting.
So there's a lot of nice gear changes. Some general stuff. Subtitle speed has now been optimized. I really never saw a problem with it anyway, but I mean, if they needed to change it, that's fine. Updated the credits. I almost kind of want to go see who got added in because I assume people are added in now and not being removed because that'd just be weird. Addressed multiple issues when that could sometimes occur when standing in the Iridian water while the cutscene is triggered in Destroyer's Rift for the credit scene. It's interesting. A couple other addressings. A lot of stuff involving cutscenes for the most part. A reported concern that players were unable to fast travel while other players were joining. I always thought that was the case anyway. In Borderlands 2, if somebody was joining your game, I don't think you could fast travel.
Yeah,
I didn't even think that was an issue.
when anyone's in a menu. So
yeah, I just assumed that when they were logging in, that technically counts as in a menu because you're unable to access the Echo Net or whatever at that point.
Yeah,
it's something like that. Reported concern where that face effects would stop working with some sequences. Reported concern that Handsome Jackie's shield drone would not properly replicate for players. Oh, reported concern that aim assist would jitter when aiming at loot guardians. So that made them even harder to hit.
Oh, God.
They're hard enough as it was. Jesus. A couple others. Tons of addressings. Tons and tons and tons. PS4 got one by itself. Just a reported concern that unresponsive screen was displayed while booting the title on PS4. Hey, a nice fresh update. Addressed a reported concern that the Marcus Skip cinematic cutscene voiceover was not localized while trying to access Guns, Love, and Tentacles. Okay. Yeah, so you couldn't just, it was just not working properly when you would do it, say, in France or in Germany or something like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, and then addressed a reported concern that Vaughn's cape would be stretched while driving in Angels and Speed. What? I would have loved to see that.
I think I've seen that in a clip from someone's stream. I wish I remembered whose stream it was.
I'm mad about that.
I feel like I saw it on Twitter at some point. That's cool. It must have been funny, but it's fixed now.
Dang. I'm a little sad right now. I would love to see that. I could just, when I used to play Titanfall, somebody made a video or a background for me that had this really, really long scarf. This really long scarf that goes back. I'm just imagining Vaughn looking like that. Like his cape just goes so far back, it's literally flapping in the screen for the camera. Because the camera pulls out when you get in vehicles, right? So it just flaps in your face and you can't even see where you're driving. It's gonna be fun.
Oh man. Yeah, so lots and lots and lots of things being fixed. Previous micro patches to the game code. So if you've been offline for a while, you should have the upgrades now, even if for some reason your game did not properly update. Audio, addressed a reported issue where subtitles for Iridium writing would not be synced with the audio. I remember running into this actually. Addressed a reported issue where subtitles could fall out of sync with voiceover if the echo log is closed a few seconds after playing an echo log. Implemented a method of manually timing subtitles. I don't know what that means, but okay. Addressed a reported issue where audio from the Tyrene, Troy, and Lilith cinematic in the Droughts can be heard again if the client disconnects and rejoins.
Yes.
Cool. Audio issue with the Psycho Badass Ground Slam addressed. Reported
That's
issue.
good, because now I want to know exactly where that's coming from at all times, because the Psycho Badass Ground Slam sucks.
Yeah.
I think it's probably like the third or fourth most current common thing to knock me down, or at least like throw me off to where I get moved out of position to get knocked down.
Addressed a reported issue where all players would hear audio and see subtitles when the host player watched the introduction video of Borderlands Science. I didn't know that was a thing. Interesting. Okay.
Borderlands Science got a whole bunch of changes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Some good ones. The most important one out of all the changes that they made was they addressed. So one of the things in Borderlands Science that would happen is when you were playing the game, you would hear Tannis talking in the background and see her subtitles.
Yes.
That has been fixed.
Oh, that's awesome.
So you never need to worry about that again. That's a huge change, because that was bothering players, and it was actually blocking the lower levels of the screen.
Yeah.
So it made it just a little bit more difficult for you to be able to actually play the game. So
I had to turn off subtitles because of that. I remember when it first launched, and I was like sad because I like the subtitles. So now I could turn them back on. That's fantastic.
Hey.
Yeah.
Mo's got 1 million buffs. Actually, it's closer to 7, but she got a whole bunch more love over the course of the past 3 weeks now. She's received.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that's the third
buffs or so?
week in a row that Mo's has been getting some more power. It's awesome.
Power up. So Daka Bear, this one I like a lot because I actually use this with a friend of mine who plays Mo's. When players in the Gunner's Nest, Iron Bear's weapons and turret will now deal increased damage. So it actually incentivizes you to get somebody in the Gunner's Nest.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that a lot. That's a great change. Force feedback added an instant 10% shield restore on top of immediately beginning the shield recharge. I like the one. Russian offensive. That's still one of my favorite names of a skill. Added to the skill, while sprinting, the gunner also steals health order weapons. I like that a lot. Mose was having some issues with health regen and survivability while I was playing her. I am going to take that skill, because that's what I'm used to with playing Zane. Zane has vampirism, more or less. So this is more along those lines as well, because I feel like I'm going down when I'm playing Mose, but I'm still at like level 27, so it doesn't count as much. But
okay, that makes sense.
Redistribution adds health on regen and ammo regen on crit. Scrappy adds weapon damage to the skill just in general. Torg cross promotion skill now also increases splash damage, which means Mose is just gonna have a million D splash damage. And then Vladoff Ingenuity skill also provides a shield regen rate bonus. Easy. And then there's a whole bunch more things that are addressed. Bubble shield wasn't consistently activating when ejecting from Iron Bear. A couple of other things. Siren's indiscriminate would not reflect Torg projectiles nearby. That's kind of annoying, actually. That must have been a problem for you.
I don't think I had this skill active. Maybe. Honestly, I've killed myself so many times. Half the time I don't know what it is that's causing me to kill myself in this game. So maybe. No, most of the time it's the lob or the anarchy and the AoE that's doing it. But yeah, I think I only recently started using the lob, and when I started using it, it was just very obvious to me that was killing me because I was just too close. So I don't know. I never really encountered that, I don't think, but it's possible. I'm glad they fixed it either way.
Yeah. So there's a lot of different changes. All of them are extremely positive. A lot of them cover everybody. Everybody here is listed. I see Gunner is listed. Siren is listed. Flak is listed. Zane is listed. So everybody's gotten a lot of change, all for the positive, where things that weren't working properly as in terms of skills are now working as intended. Thank God. Some of the voice effects and sound effects might have not have been making issues. For example, Bangarang XL bullet voice effects or sound effects would remain on the host screen when thrown by a client in Athenas. That's just annoying. Very specified bug, too.
Yeah.
That it could only happen on Athenas. Whoops. A reported concern that Lucky 7 Roulette did not appear properly in multiplayer. Just annoying stuff like that. And yeah, a whole host of mission changes, UI changes. Echo Pass patch notes just now it supports the new items that we're getting, so everything that's in Revenge of the Cartels, as well as the 8 new legendaries.
Oh, nice.
6, yeah. And then late joiners should see a more accurate donation timer during the Moxtail event.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of mission things also, but there's one thing with Iron Bear. I remember actually encountering this, and it was very confusing. I didn't know what was going on. Addressed a reported concern that particles could obstruct the player's view if entering Iron Bear while status effects were active. So that is awesome that they fixed that. Cool. Yeah, and then mission fixes, so address potential blockers to some missions. That's always fantastic. Addressed a reported concern that Balix would float and move after completing the Kill Tyrant objective during the mission, The Family Jewel. I'm kind of sad I didn't get this glitch because it sounds kind of hilarious. Addressed a reported concern that Clay would teleport away from Reliance after receiving the Follow Clay objective in the Cold as the Grave mission. I thought he just didn't like me. But they fixed it. They fixed a whole bunch of stuff, and it's awesome. There's so many fixes in this patch. Wow, it's amazing.
It's an actual grocery list of changes. There's probably, I would say, about 75 to 100 bullet points here of changes in total.
Yeah.
I wish I was exaggerating, but I'm not. Definitely go to Borderlands.com and view the whole list. Because if we were to sit here and read all of them, we're picking and choosing some of the ones that are, I feel, most important, but there are a lot. And there are some that might have pertained to you that you might have encountered that have been addressed. So yeah, go to Borderlands.com, check out the new news, and make sure you see. Because there were a bunch of hot fixes that are also in here. Legendary Skull Crusher and Cocky Bastard are now in the boss loot pools of Guns, Love, and Tentacles. Oh, yay! Skull Crusher finally, or isn't it Skull Masher? Or maybe it's a Skull Masher, but now they changed it. They just changed the name. Yeah, because I thought the Skull Masher came back.
I thought it was called the Skull Masher, but maybe I'm wrong because I never found one. I looked for a while, but never really actually found one. So
yeah, I'm looking at the spreadsheet right now because I always have the list of everything open so I can just refresh my memory whenever I need to. And yeah, I guess the patch says Skull Crusher. Was somebody listening to Jonathan Colton when they wrote this?
Masher, Crusher, they're annihilating skulls, okay? It's all good.
Yes. And the Cocky Bastard are now in the boss loop. That's good because the Skull Masher is something that everybody wanted, but up until this point, the only way you could obtain one was via a just lucky chest drop, I want to say. I think that was it. It was just a drop in chest at that point.
Yeah.
A couple other ones just reported concern that it was sometimes possible to use Siren's phase slam ability on the stairs leading to Joey's arena and prevent them from flattening. Oh, okay. You'll find out more about that when we're playing Revenge of the Cartels.
Okay.
I wouldn't worry about that.
Okay.
I just reported concern that a black screen would sometimes appear for 30 seconds when watching the end of Katagawa Jr.'s title card. Oh my god. Could you be killed during that? That'd be awful.
Oh no.
That would be really bad.
Yeah, never had that glitch, luckily, but it's fixed now.
No.
Wonderfully. Yeah. Addressed a reported concern that exploding enemies would sometimes not die when self-destructing with the buddy system Mayhem modifier. Huh.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, more explosions, more better. Always a good thing.
More better. So that's, like I said, it's a long list. It's a very, very long list. Make sure that you go to Borderlands.com and check it out. We could honestly be here all day.
I just put the link into both the Twitch channel and the Steam channel. You guys, if you are watching via Steam, thank you very much for checking us out. We are here every Thursday at 4 p.m. Eastern for the Bordercast. It goes to anybody that sees the VOD later on YouTube or listens via iTunes or Spotify or SoundCloud. We'll soon be on all of those platforms. Please please feel free to stop by and say hi anytime. We love getting questions from you guys. We try to always get answers to them for you, maybe not that same day, but soon after, if not that same day. And we appreciate it. The whole point of the Bordercast is to be a community-focused show. So we love interacting with you guys, the community. As always, you can always chat in the Twitch chat, twitch.tv/Borderlands. And you can chat in the Steam chat as well if you want to. We do see it, but the Borderlands chat is a little bit easier. So just so you know, if you want to look at those patch notes, just grab the links from the chat.
Yep. So, Revenge of the Cartels. It happened. It is finally here, and it is Scarface, essentially. I won't spoil too much of it, but you kind of got a sense for it when you saw some of the trailers, I imagine, and some of the other promotional material. Plus, I'm on that dust, that iridium dust. Soak up the rays, rock some neon colors. You really do, by the way. And bust crime like it's in the 80s, and Revenge of the Cartels, a free seasonal event happening in Borderlands 3. So, essentially, Revenge of the Cartels it's a mix of 80s nostalgia with the previous seasonal event. And what you're going to do is Maurice tells you that he got in trouble. And what Maurice actually did was he ate somebody at a poker game.
Oops.
He thought that was customary. And apparently that pissed off Joey. To eat a member of the Cartels. He ate them because they lost. So in Saurian culture, if you lose at poker, you get ate. I am never playing poker again.
I like poker, but maybe not with the Saurian.
Yeah, no, I'll pass. So you have this coming down, and he basically says, could you maybe take care of this by killing all of them for me before they kill me, even though I killed them and started this in the first place? And there's a bunch of new dialogue. Like I said at the top of the show, Zane's new dialogue is wonderful. So if you're playing him, you'll get to hear a drunk Irishman talk about how much he loves a dinosaur and also how much he hates gates. Just trust me on this one. You'll find out about it soon enough. And the boss fight, he's got a cool title screen. The entire mansion itself has that Scarface feel. Neon everywhere, giant piles of iridium dust. It's just, and it's great. And you can actually shoot them, and you can get iridium that way too.
That's awesome. It sounds like it'll be right up my alley. I'm actually very, very excited to jump into game after the Bordercast.
It's a rip-roaring good time. And the cartel thugs look great. They are very clearly labeled, and they are fun to fight. I did it on Mayhem 6, for example, and I felt that it was fair. I think I took a knee a couple times. I want to say I died once by accident. I was like, oops. One of the season pass, or I guess it's a season pass, but you don't have to buy it because it is free content. One of the objectives that you have to accomplish is doing the entire thing without dying. You only have to do it once, but that is one requirement. So
dying or going down?
I think it says without respawning, so I believe
Okay.
dying. Yeah, so just straight death. So don't roll that modifier where if you take a knee, you immediately die.
I was just going to say that. Don't. Yeah. If you roll that modifier, just hit the button again to re-roll.
Yes.
I'm still honestly in awe of how clean and elegant they made that. I absolutely think it's fantastic that all you have to do is hit one key and you can re-roll over and over and over again. And then when you're ready, when you have modifiers that you like, you can just hit apply, and then you get one load screen. You don't even have to save quit. You don't have to relog. You don't have to restart. You don't have to do anything. Just one load screen, one key, as many times as you like. And then you stick with those modifiers forever if you want to, until the next time you feel like changing them. It's great.
Yes. And we have all of that. And what's nice is this event can be turned off at will. So if you're just done with it and you don't want to deal with it anymore, you can disable it before you jump in the game at the main menu. And that's it. But I can't see myself turning this one off. It's not nearly as invasive as Bloody Harvest was. There aren't skulls flying at me every 5 seconds, which is nice. There's a couple of additional enemies. They look super cool and they're super fun to fight. They're not ridiculously hard to fight either. They are fair. for the most part, and that's great because that's like a nice, neat addition to every like group of mobs that you're going to kill. You don't have to worry about it as much because it's like, all right, well, that's additional chances to get loot. And then, of course, once you unlock enough, that's when you gather enough coordinates. Then you find out where the villa is. You go to the Villa Ultraviolet, I believe it's called. And I'm not gonna say much. I will say that when you appear there, and when like they do a good job of setting up where you're going, and it doesn't feel like so. It's not a problem, but one of the things that games does is they reuse assets. Okay, that's just what you have to do, especially when you're putting up free content. It's just and there's nothing wrong with that. They did it with Bloody Harvest to a certain degree. They reused the graveyard from Athenas. This one feels completely new. Completely new.
Nice.
Like they put this whole thing together. It's its own separate area. It does not look or feel like anywhere else. If the mansion looked like anything at all, I would say it's closest related to the library, but the library has much wider open spaces. This is just like an actual mansion, narrow corridors, like reasonably sized rooms, the big chairs. Like it feels like a lived-in place with a whole bunch of piles of iridium dust.
Interesting. So lots of shenanigans can happen there. I like it.
Yes. So it looks amazing. It feels amazing. I won't spoil anything else after that, but I think you, especially as a lover of the aesthetic, will be quite pleased, and I can't wait to hear your opinions on it next week.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I'm excited to play it. I've been excited to actually play the game all week. I've been working on other stuff.
Yeah.
So psyched.
So another neat thing that Gearbox just dropped on us out of nowhere is they decided to help us ping everyone at once. Yeah.
This is super cool. So right now, obviously, a lot of us, pretty much the entire world actually, is staying home and staying safe and staying healthy and helping each other to stay home and stay safe and healthy. And a lot of us are using Zoom to stay in touch, to work from home, to live our lives, right? And so they released some backgrounds because Zoom has this cool feature where you can add a virtual background for yourself, even if you don't have a green screen. The camera technology in Zoom basically interpolates based on the differences between your background and your face, and green screens out digitally whatever's behind you and can turn it into something, basically whatever you want. And now you have these really, really beautiful, super fun backgrounds from Borderlands. You could be like a character in Borderlands in your Zoom meeting with your family and friends or your coworkers or whatever you like. There's a code for these. There's a link. Let me get you guys the link.
Oh, are you going to give them the code?
Can I give them the code?
Yeah, if you'd like to.
Sure. There is
everybody in chat. So the visual here, by the way, is if you are listening to this anywhere else, unfortunately, we don't have the code specifically just displayed on screen, or it would just be a little like silly to read it out per se. But I can say that again, Borderlands.com, go and check the news section. Look for Borderlands 3 virtual backgrounds. I believe the title of the blog post is Zoom Across the Borderlands with these virtual backgrounds. And you will find the, 25 letter and numerical string for your shift codes.
Yeah.
But the nice thing is, you get a conference call from putting that shift code in. So if you're a big fan of the gun, it's not considered to be the best gun in the world anymore, but it is still a valuable gun, especially if you are leveling up. It can do some work on Grave Ward, so especially if you get a fire variant, I would recommend picking one up. There's no reason not to. It's a free legendary. Just redeem it. You've got until May 31st. Make it happen. Might remind you guys every now and again, too. But yeah, the Zoom files that they have are great. I really like the one with the legendaries in the background and the vault. There's one at the Handsome Jackpot Casino. There's one with two psychos pointing at your head, so it just looked like they were shooting at you the whole time. But fingers, not actual guns. Live streaming. I almost thought it was going to say live screaming because that does fade between the two of them every now and again. There's and the one of Promethea. Oh wow, that's a nice background. I love the way Promethea looks, so I'm kind of biased on that one. But they all look amazing.
Yeah, I'm definitely a Promethea fan. Honestly, I'm a fan of all of the planets, but definitely a Promethea fan. Speaking of planets, there is a new mini event called Loot the Universe that focuses on specific planets during different periods of time where you can earn extra loot. It's a 4-week tour of the solar system. So if you're looking for specific things, right now, starting this week, starting today, from April 23rd until the 30th, you want to be hanging out on Pandora. The next one is going to be Promethea. That starts next week on the 30th. Then Eden 6 from May 7th on to the 14th. And then from the 14th to the 21st, it will be Necro Tefeo. And it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, this is something that people have been really excited about as well. The fact that you can now kind of target where you want to go to hunt for very specific types of weapons, pistols, shotguns, submachine guns, all of that. And it also has an increased chance, words are hard, to do certain legendary gear types, class mods, artifacts, shields, grenade mods, whatever you need there. Now you can just, there have been other games that kind of do this. I like the way Borderlands is doing it better because they feel very heavily targeted, whereas this is kind of like a little bit more open. And this started as of today. So you'll have plenty of chances to go out there and farm for any kind of gear that you want. And this coincides with Mayhem 2.0. So if you jack up your Mayhem level and go out there and manage to tackle some of those challenges, then your chances of getting all that loot go up, what? 2,000%, I think it is, at Mayhem 10.
That's a lot.
Combine that with a little bit of extra, combine that with a little butt milk, and it's going to be raining legendaries.
To get butt milk, by the way, in case you are unaware, you have to play the really, really awesome Borderlands science game that you can find in the back left-hand corner of Tannis's lab on Sanctuary. Trust me, just go there. You'll find a machine, walk up to the machine, turn it on, and science. You will love it. I promise. I promise. The butt milk alone is worth it.
Indeed. Oh, that's a lot of stuff. This was a really big patch, and aside from the audio issue and a few other things, everybody seems to be enjoying it. I have yet to see somebody really kind of like dig in and be like, I really don't like this system. The biggest issue I could see is only people who are saying this is basically op levels, and the answer is it's not. It's not. It is similar to it, but it is not the same, because modifiers change the way that you're playing the game. And it's not just, all right, everything's a meat shield. There are things in there that will help you, and there are things in there that will hurt you. And you won't have to worry about enemies regenerating health unfairly if you can't out DPS them. There's always a chance if you play smart and have an optimized build, or even a sub-optimized. I'm using a sub-optimized build, and I'm walking through Mayhem 6 without too much difficulty. I'm not saying that I'm not going down, but at the same time, I'm not feeling like things are so unfair that I want to go down. And that's still with my Mayhem form before guns. So there's a lot of opportunity for everybody to go out there and get loot. There's a lot of opportunity out there for people to go and mess around with these new modifiers, and they are fun.
Very, very
And I highly recommend that everybody step out of their comfort zones and try them, because they're really, really good, and they're a lot of fun. It's much better than op levels. If you think that it's op levels, I urge you and implore you, give it a try. You will find that there are differences, and very important ones at that, once you start digging in and playing.
Yeah, and let us know what you think once you get your hands on it. Once you're playing and enjoying it, hopefully, tell us what your favorite modifiers are. Tell us what awesome loot you've gotten. You can do so by joining our Discords. You can do so by coming into our streams. There's a new schedule posted below the video on the twitch.tv/Borderlands channel. You can tell us in chat right now on Bordercast, and every Thursday at 4 p.m. Eastern. We'd love to hear from you guys. If you have questions, if you have cool stuff that's happened to you that you just want to let us know about, we're happy to know that and share that with the rest of the community. So.
Yep. So, lots of mayhem. Tons of mayhem. A ridiculous amount of mayhem. Mayhem 2.0 finally here. There are so many cool events going on. Co-op loot event is still happening until April 30th. So make sure that you get in, you play with your friends, and share in the joy that is playing Borderlands 3 with all of your pals and your buds and your friends and all of your loved ones. Because, I mean, realistically, what else are you going to do right now? We're all just kind of stuck inside. But we can play together at least, and we can go experience these cool worlds together, and that is the most important thing. Guardian Takedown next month at some point. I am looking forward to this. It's going to be a lot of fun. I have heard some great things about it. I have heard that it is real tough, like serious business tough. So Lazy's still going to take about an hour and a half to beat it, but that's fine. That's fine. With that being said, we will see you next week. Thank you guys for joining us so much. On behalf of Tess, myself, everybody at Gearbox and 2K, thank you so much for joining us as you do every single week. We appreciate the ever-loving heck out of you guys. Now go forth and make some mayhem.